Hey guys, sorry it's been a while. It's just been a rough time. I have finals this week, and then I have YCS, Remote YCS, I'm sure. Hopefully we're all playing this weekend as well, which sucks because I have a final on Friday at 8 a.m. and then one at 9 p.m., so it's going to be rough. But I'm excited, and I just wanted to make this video to highlight the Gamer's Choice Top 8. I think there's been a lot of recent events like the Remote Regionals, and I've just been seeing a lot of YouTube videos of like really recent events, but I never really saw a video like highlighting this tournament. And I think this tournament had a great amount of like really good people, and probably the most like people with like an established history doing well in the game. Even like Nick Ma playing Eldlich tops this event, and I mean I know him. I don't know if you do, but it had a lot of good players, and I think that's why I want to just like talk about their strategies rather than like something like a Nadir servant deck that no one's ever played before, which is really cool. I recommend you check that out. Just search up like remote regional tops, right? Floowandereeze, barrier statue decks, sweet. I don't like Floowandereeze because they lose to Swordsoul, just TLDR. But let's talk about these decks. So Tommy Williams, I did a video with him, and he's playing 3 droplets, 3 crossout designator, pretty much just a prosperity build with a good amount of long game because he has 2 Taye, 3 Longyan, so it does add a little consistency with the 3 prosperity. And he has another name for the second blackout, which probably isn't necessary. But how do I feel about this deck? So like right on the face, I think this deck like loses incredibly hard to Lyrilusc Tri, and he did win, but I think Fusion Destiny is one of those cards where like we might just see a lot of like at least half the events win with Fusion Destiny, because Fusion Destiny is just the most powerful one of to play, right? All these other cards are slightly combo. Moye, you need another worm. Taye, you need a worm in the grave. But Fusion Destiny does Pot of Greed and Scrap Dragon either player's turn for 1 card. Especially powerful with Maxi. I know I just saw a Maxi video from Farfa, which was pretty cool. But that card's a problem, right? And it really exemplifies when you play Fusion Destiny versus Maxi deck, how just powerful it is, because it gets you a lot for a little, right? And the only way to stop is Ash. So still a powerful card. I don't personally like it. I think drawing Dasher and Celestial loses you too many games than it wins you, and it's just like equal ratios. I mean, if I'm playing a Verte deck, like obviously I love Fusion Destiny and PK. There's no way you can't play it. Sky Striker, I love Fusion Destiny, but outside of that, I don't like it. 3-dimension shifter as well. I think this was really good. It does help for the Lyrilusc Tri, which I said was hard. If you're going second, this can just win you a game versus like almost any deck. Problem being, drawing it as your 6th card. But he's not playing Desires, he's playing Prosperity, so you have the option of choosing. Well, I'm sure he sized these out actually going second, so null and void. His level 12 Synchro, I think, was a cool tech. I think that card might actually be a little relevant for the YCS, because I think you'll be playing against a different deck like every round. But I see he's playing Prosperity, so like cards like Solemn with the Floodgates, the anti-spell are broken because when you're going first, you're just going to seal the deal. So to me, I really believe this is a going first deck. And it's kind of die roll reliant. I think you'll have a lot of trouble if you're not winning most of your die rolls in the tournament, and that's why I'm kind of staying away from this. Designator, I think, is a great card in the mirror match, but I still don't see it being good right now. Sorry, I just noticed I have a hole in my shirt, but what the fuck are you gonna do? So this deck, I'm not going to change my shirt and redo the whole video. So this deck, there can only be one, is what I am most afraid of with the coming YCS, just because I think it like makes me want to main Cosmic really bad, even though everyone thinks that's terrible, just because it's a Scythe out too, right? And this card literally will just like lose you the game, and it's not even bad going second because of just Sky Striker's playstyle. What do I think of Sky Strikers? I think they're very strong. I think they play around every meta card like really well. So Ash, Nibiru, Mystic Mine, like all these random powerful cards in the game, Sky Striker does not have a problem with. 2 droplets, really cool. 3 Ash, I think that's kind of staple with this deck. And then 3 there can only be 1. I think that's kind of staple now too. That card's just the best Floodgate in the game, like hands down. It's only pretty bad versus Drytron, but I think I would have to play it if I could do it, especially even in like Eldlich, right? Triple Talent, I'm sure this was not very good. Talent, I am a strong like opposee of. It just doesn't seem like it does enough, especially in games 2 and 3. Would I rather have a Dark Ruler or Talent to play around his board, play through his board? No. Would I rather have a Called By going first? Probably. So that's my thoughts on this. I don't think it's a strong card right now. 3 Crow, one of the strongest hand traps, I think, just in terms of versatility. But it amazes me because it's like, you can play it almost versus anything, and would catch Swordsoul off guard. Swordsoul do the emergence play a lot to play around stuff if they're not playing the Tenyis. So kind of cool if you're thinking about maining it, but I definitely think it's just a side card. 3 Nibiru. This card's really good versus Lyrilusc Tri going first, and just good card in general versus any spammy deck. 3 Token Collector. Surprised by this. I wouldn't think Swordsoul is the worst matchup, but it is nice just having like this guaranteed out. Next format with Brave tokens coming, this might be a lot better, right? 3 Cosmic. I think that card's really good right now because just like Crow, where Crow can be very good versus Drytrons, because I mean Cycle Reader's sweet, but you don't need it. So it can be sweet versus Drytrons, but it's also Scythe out. Cosmic has that same versatility where it's a Scythe out, but it also is good in the Swordsoul mirror, I think. Really good. And it's good versus, pretty much, it's almost always good going second, in my opinion. Just because it's a 1-for-1 that hits floodgates, because that's usually people's sets when they're playing a Prosperity deck, for example. They're going to add the order, right? So you have 1 card out. Even with there can only be 1, you only need 1 Cosmic, unless they have 2, which better have it. 3 Evenlies. Anything interesting about their extra deck? I think it's pretty solid. I think this is like card for card exact extra deck I would play. I'm not trying to go too deep into it. Okay, and then I just want to touch on too, this top 8 was majority Swordsoul, and I don't think that's because Swordsoul is just this like clear-cut tier 0 meta deck. I think that a lot of people are just choosing to play it because it's so consistent, and bricking in this game just feels so unfair because it's like so hard for people. So like if you brick, it's not like your opponent's gonna brick too, right? So I just want to play every game, have the chance to have my opponent make a mistake. Anything interesting about this list? I think it's a pretty common standard. He's playing Vessels instead of Heavenly. He's playing Instant Fusion, which is cool. It's another Imperm out, I guess. Kind of seems like a worse Heavenly to me. Imperial Order, best Floodgate. 2 Blackouts. With Desires, you probably need it. I think his side's really strong. It's like, this is just basic Swordsoul. I think Dragite's terrible. You don't need it. What's he not playing instead of it? I think Rudy Rose is better than Dragite. I think Rudy Rose is getting way too much hate, and I don't understand why people think it's such a bad card in the Tenyi Swordsoul version, because it's definitely going to come, like any DPE deck, it's going to come up more than Dragite. So yeah. But yeah, congrats to him. I think there's just not much to say about this that I couldn't say about the next deck. So this was Sean Rye's list. it kind of excites me because this is a lot like my list. I love the Max Heavenly Max Vessel. I think it's so strong because you're playing Protoss.deck at that point, and that's what I want to play. Like, Protoss is the best card. Protoss is what makes this deck unfair. That's why I play Swordsoul still. I didn't like it, but as soon as I realized that I'm just trying to summon Protoss, I'm just trying to, like, floodgate my opponent, that's when I started liking it. So I think this list is sweet. I know Gamma's insane versus Lyrilusc Tri, and I'm sure, like me, he was just, like, really afraid of that deck. And especially with comboing with the Nib, you need the monster effect negation. The droplets, I'm not too sure about. I don't think it's a good side card. I don't even think it's a good main card. I think this card's terrible, and I even talked to him. He said it's terrible too, so it's a brick. It's a brick more than it's a function most of the time. Red Reboot, Imperial Order, so just some like good one-ofs, good anti-trap decks. Extra deck, he's just not playing Zeus. Seems pretty strong, has the Omega for his Gamma. Like I said, not much to say. I would max out on Adhara's. I think Adhara is one of the best Tenyis. It can be normal summoned. You'd never want to run out. I just OTK'd the Shark Exodia deck. First time I played it, I didn't even know what it did, and I just long yawned them 7 times. And I used all 3 of my Adharas, Baroness Effect, Shamans. It was sweet. So going into top 8, we have the Lyrilusc Tri deck. Anything interesting about this? I mean, they max out on Canary instead of this. One Wigtail, right? I don't know. I think I would change some of these like power cards for more consistency, or at least like better hand traps, because this deck can play through everything. So what's called by really doing for you? It's not hitting the power cards I mentioned. I guess it can hit a Drool. Drool's okay versus deck. I don't think it's that strong. I mean, it can still end on 2 to 3 interruptions. Oath, I don't think you need in the main anymore. I think that card's phasing out of the meta, and it's sweet. It's a barrier. It's broken. It's the maximum power, but you just don't need it. Especially with droplets not doing anything most of the time. Probably for the mirror, Lancias, Harpy Feather Duster, you know, I mean, these cards are becoming universal, like the Solemn Judgment, because we all lose to the same cards. Dark Ruler no more because all of our monster effects, right? So Lyrilusc Tri is one of the best decks. Probably underrepresented. That's why it didn't top as much. I think this is Hani's list. Yeah, it is. So this is Hani's list. You know, he's really good. Maxed out on the 9. What I would say probably the best hand traps. The reason I like these isn't even really for the hand trap anymore. I just like that. Well, he can make Dragite. That's pretty much it. But yeah, playing around there can be only one with you know, Effect Veiler into Dragite or Ash Blossom into Baroness. Pretty sweet. I'm sure this card was lackluster for him. I think he should have maxed out on the Tenyis. This card's phasing out. If we notice, he did not play it, like Sean, who top forward. So, is this necessary? I think so. It's never really been like a brick, like a really bad card that I don't want. I don't know how logical that is, but it's interesting. It's another name. I like 1 Blackout as well, even if you're running 3 Desires. Evenly, I think Evenly should be phasing out. It just doesn't. If I'm playing Tenyis, I want to kill my opponent. I don't want to go into the battle phase and then main phase 2 do my worm board. That doesn't feel good. Doing the worm board does not feel as good as like Baroness, right? So if I'm doing my worm board, I'm killing you, right? So that's why I don't like Evenly. PK. Yeah, PK is sweet. Played 1 Cosmic. You know, Mystic Mine out. When you're playing PK, it just is so demoralizing to lose to Mystic Mine over and over, because you really just lose to Dark Ruler, Mystic Mine, all those cards. Your Fog Blades are not enough. Your Recursion in the graveyard is not enough. Anything cool about his list? I think this list is really cool with the Lancias, the Junk Forward, lack of Tour Guide. You don't need it. 2 Gloves. What else? 3 droplets, pretty much staple in this deck. You're not playing hand traps. Oh, he's playing 3 nibs, so he is playing hand traps. But I think this is actually standard now from all the PK lists I've seen. This is the route everyone's going. You need wing, right? Same exact. Is this not like card for card side decks? We're just all interchangeably playing these cards, trying to find the best 15. I think people are just throwing their side decks together. Not to say that's what he did, but I'm just. It's just like there's so many cards that do the same thing that it's just weird to me. Like Lightning Storm, Evenly, Dark Ruler, these all do the same thing. So it's a lot of going second cards. I think going second cards are definitely better than going first. He elected to not play Nightmare. He's playing 2 Levirs. That's pretty interesting. Link Rebo you need for the nib. So, he's playing Amirage too. So he's not playing Appaloosa. So that's kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how you can't play Appaloosa. Maybe you thought hand traps were phasing out, right? And then for the last deck, we have Nick Ma playing Madolche. I love Madolches. I've played them at premier events multiple times. And before all of this madness came out, this card and the link, right? But I do like this deck. I think it's one of the best decks going first. Going second, it sucks, and that's why I don't play it. This card, Metaverse, is great for the Mystic Mine and your Chateau. I didn't even know this card existed, but it is. Well, I know now, but when I didn't know it was at 1 when I had it played on me. This card is pretty dumb. Just like a better the quick play that when your opponent special summons a monster, you can activate a field spell that just made a strictly better one. I think that's pretty funny. He ran Skill Drain, 3 there, can only be 1. So he elected, it's kind of like an old school strat with the Floodgates. Even though I think you win going first most of the time, you still need the extra stuff, I guess. Although all these cards are relatively good going second as well. But he has 3 Dimension Shifters, Pancratops, he's running Heralds. So I mean, he definitely knows way more about this deck than me. That's why it just feels weird talking on it. But I think Madolches are probably one of the best, like, non-tier 1 decks, right? I think they're definitely unexplored. If more people played them, they would take more top spots because their power is just ridiculous. Tiramisu sweet. But, yeah, so that's it. I tried to do these lists, like, relatively quick just because... I mean, it's like I could read Madolche Mageline, but hopefully you know what that does or you're just willing to search it up for yourself. I try to, point out cards that aren't that not well known, but that's all I felt like I need to do. So if you appreciated that, just let me know. If not, also let me know. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to try to do like actual fun stuff, but this is all I'm thinking about is the competitive aspect of Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now. I'm doing trades too. So, like, that's all I'm talking about, but I would definitely want to make, like, some really cool decks, because that's what I have the most fun doing. But with the YCS, I want to do well in this YCS, so I have to just keep analyzing the meta and keep playtesting. So, yep, thanks for watching.